Has Jey Uso turned heel? Yes, shimmy into shot, Dan. We've not actually framed up the cameras, I've just realised, because Luke is away.
Yeah.
I'm Ollie Davis. I'm joined by Dan the Truth Layton. The Professor, Dan the Truth Layton.
Now
the
we
Master.
Could do. I've got a whole MA, don't I?
Yeah.
Master of Arts.
Yeah. It's useful.
Yeah.
I've got one too, I can say that.
Have you?
Yeah. Film theory. Look at all the good it's
Between
done
the
me.
pair of us.
We could start a podcast.
There you go. You know.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here today. It's the Raw review episode of the WrestleTalk podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from.
And hey, let us know in the channel if we're live.
Yeah.
Like in the chat, can you see us?
I'm pretty sure we're live. We're live.
Gotta be live.
So you can subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can subscribe on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and exciting new distribution channels we've got here. You heard about the big Powerball rollover thing in America?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if you bought a ticket, like #Sideburn here on Spotify, spent $10 over the past week playing the Powerball in hopes of winning the $1.8 billion prize. Turns out one of my tickets, I matched two numbers.
Huge.
And instead of a monetary prize, I was sent a link to this podcast.
Great.
Yep, that's right. We are now distributed through non-winning numbers on Powerball, which is statistically enormous.
As consolation prizes go, I would argue worth more than the value of the jackpot.
Yeah, a lot of confused people out there. And also, press the thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, and send in your chat gables to WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read out every single one. Over $5 before the end of the show. But we will start talking with Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Yeet or no heel yeet?
Boot. Like a boo, but with a T on the end. Like yeet for cheering.
Oh, right, and boo.
Boot.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the other way. Hands. I don't know. Yeah, let's talk about Jey Uso.
Well, then, what did you... First off, before we get into what happened and how it played out through the episode, do you think he did turn heel?
Well, no, I didn't get heel. I got, a bit of bite from Jey Uso. Oh, how exciting. I said this earlier on, I thought it was perfectly justified. Like, he's beefing with LA Knight, has been for several weeks.
Perfectly justified is too far for what Knight did.
Knight allowed him to be squished by Bronson Reed.
He had his back to Bronson Reed.
And that's not the last sort of like, it's not like the first time any transgression between LA Knight and Jey Uso has happened. This is like, Knight was giving him a bunch of jip last week.
Yeah, because Jey was a dick at the pay-per-view.
Jey wasn't a dick at the pay-per-view.
Okay, all right.
Jey behaved perfectly rationally this whole time. And here is where, to tie in, this is what this is all about. This is what Triple H's heel-face dynamic is all about. He loves his little grey area. He loves a tweener. We're not allowed to call it that, but that's one of his favourite things. So,
well, shall we... I was going to just do the story of this narrative thread on the episode, but I feel like I now need to justify LA Knight from the last several months.
Also, is like the mod extravaganzas, we could do a poll and see whether or not they think.
Good idea. Mod Mother, please run a poll. Did Jey turn heel? And yeet is yes, and boot...
I'd say stick with no yeet.
No yeet is no. So about a month ago or whatever, LA Knight moves over to Raw. He's got some tension with CM Punk because CM Punk's being a dick.
Yeah.
They're going into the Fatal 4-Way with LA Knight and with Jey Uso and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
That happens at Clash in Paris. But crucially, Roman Reigns told Jey Uso, you got to be more selfish, man. Mm-hmm. And then at the PLE, wasn't it even the... No, Jey superkicked Punk as the go-home angle.
Yes, because there's an awful lot of this going around where Jey superkicked Punk to be a bit more selfish. Then at the pay-per-view, Punk goes straight after Jey. Yeah. As a bit of payback, a receipt, you might say.
Getting over the idea that all the baby faces are feuding, and Seth, in his vision, has somehow orchestrated this when he hasn't.
Yeah.
So in that match, they did occasionally team up to take out Seth, but instead of taking out Seth, Jey just super kicked LA Knight.
Yeah.
So that was a straight. The other ones where Jey is breaking up pins, okay, that's what he's meant to do.
Yeah.
But they should have ganged together to take out Rollins there.
Yes.
That's where the night Jey beef starts.
That's one option. But also, if you're Jey Uso, it's every man for himself in this moment. That's kind of exactly the point that Roman's making, which is to say you can just sort of... So, like, you know, back yourself. Also, you're an Uso. Like, you know, you're in this bloodline. You're better than all these people. Take him out. So Jey, I think, is perfectly justifiable in going like... Yeah, thanks very much for this idea of us teaming up to suit your advantage. But then there will be 3 of us. That's a numbers disadvantage. Sod it. Off you go. Peace out. And then I'm going to go after the champ.
I'll strike before I have been struck upon.
Exactly. Because what's the world where he helps him out and they go, yeah. And then Knight gets the first hit in. Might as well just go straight for the jugular.
So last week it was Knight versus... Was it Knight versus
It was a tag team, wasn't it?
Was it Knight and Jey versus the
Bronze?
Yeah. And... That's when Jimmy made his return.
Yeah.
And we opened this week with the Usos doing a prolonged yeet down to the ring.
Yeah.
So skip the first 15 minutes if you've not seen it already.
Literally.
And it was nice. They're reunited and they did their back and forth Usos promo.
Well, they started doing a promo and then... And this was the first of 2 times it happened during the course of this episode of Raw. It felt like they weren't getting to the point quick enough, so production just pressed play on Bronson Reed's theme tune. Because they didn't really get going on the promo. So, like, it was only when they were given the bronze nattering. Yeah, a little bit of a, get on with it. You know, come on. That they started to do the Paul Heyman's and Orca or whatever it was. Extravaganza.
So the bronze came out and Bron Breakker was very angry for what they did to Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was Roman.
It was. But
it's
a
different
family.
Samoan.
Well, you know, that's true.
But Breakker here, I love it whenever Breakker gets really, really angrily protective over Heyman.
Yeah.
And he tries to go down there and Bronson drags him back. And this is, then they announce that they'll have a tag match with the Bronze at WrestlePalooza. What do you think of the name WrestlePalooza?
I think it is fascinating. The wealth of names that you've got ownage of, that you plucked that one out of the ether. WrestlePalooza. Like, fine. I wouldn't say it's like even one of ECW's most famous pay-per-view names. Like, let alone Starcade, not good enough.
Use Starcade.
Do you know what I mean? Call it Starcade. Whatever. WrestlePalooza. I guess it's got the word wrestle in there. So then
it's like WrestleMania, WrestlePalooza.
And I suppose if you're
WrestleTalk.
if you get ESPN Plus, whatever it's called, Gold, I don't know, and you're searching wrestle because you're like, oh, I see they've got wrestling now. I can find that WrestleMania, and up pops WrestlePalooza. Oh, it's a new one. I'll watch that. Maybe that's something to do with it. I don't know. I think it's a weird choice. I also think the whole buzzsaw branding, none of it makes any sense to me because the ticket stubs are what's happened. I like the ticket stubs, but they're not to do with the buzzsaw. Like, sure, a lot of WrestlePalooza for me is, sure, the card looks good.
Yeah.
The branding, I have no idea, but fine.
Almost like it's been hashed together.
Yeah, a little bit.
In the last minute.
Nick Khan loves ECW. He's a huge... He's the reason New Jack is in the game. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
He's the reason New Jack is in 2K25. So, like, I don't know. In my head, he's just like, hey, Paul.
Remember WrestlePalooza?
He's just pointing at his 97 DVDs and he's like, get Rob Van Dam back for Cena's last retirement tour.
I asked someone today who's not a wrestling fan. I was like, what do you think of WrestleMania, the name? And they went, oh yeah, I know WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. I think when you first heard WrestleMania, it probably sounds goofy. And then I said, what about WrestlePalooza? And they went, what?
But also, like, we're in the UK, we don't say insert thing here, Palooza.
Yeah.
Do we? Like, in Drag Race, there's the Lollapalooza, which is a joke on the idea of a lip sync of a palooza. And, like, they say it in America a lot, but we don't. So...
What is a palooza?
I
think I only know it from Weird Al.
It was... Is it like at a festival or something?
No,
like,
I've typed in Paleo Zoo. And that's just...
That's very different extravaganza.
Palooza.
P-A-L-O... O-Z-A.
P-A-L...
O-O-Z-A.
O-O-Z-A. Palooza. A word of American origin.
Yeah.
Derived from the late 19th century term Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
Which is a festival, meaning an extraordinary event.
Well, there you go. And I assume if you're American, that makes sense. But for the rest of us, it's just a word.
Sounds a bit goofy.
Sounds a bit goofy.
Well, good for them. Anyway, that match was booked with the buzzsaw graphics and
the ticket stubs.
The ticket stubs.
I like them.
But then the faces on the ticket stubs look a bit Queen Bohemian Rhapsody.
Very. Yeah, very that. Yeah.
AI to the gills.
Or like
CM Punk doesn't look like CM Punk.
No, they've used AJ's render from like 2011 and put an extra filter over the top of it so she looks completely fictional. Like it's, yeah.
So after that, LA Knight ran down, started attacking Breaker and Reed. And then the Usos do a dive on them both. There's a bit of a brawl, and Knight almost runs into Jey in the corner,
which would be,
where we were covering.
again.
Knight stops himself, like, whoa, moves out the way, and then one of the Bronze charges into Jey. Knight had no idea what was behind him.
He knew something was coming, and he went, whoa! I think. Roll the tapes. Okay. But this is part of the fun of the, like... Because the argument you could then make as LA Knight is, I had no idea. Are you joking? I acted on reflex. Why are you being a dick? Jey is like, hang on, you dodged out of the way and let me take the full force of Bronson Reed? You're a dick. Like they've both got justifiable reasons to be cross at each other, which is why I don't see this as a heel turn. I see this as bickering babyfaces. Can they coexist?
Yeah, I think... This is a hallmark of when Levesque is booking at his best, particularly around the bloodline stuff. And I agree with Knight. I think Jey's being a dick, but I can understand Jey because I believe Jey's character believes that Knight's in the wrong, and that's what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah, because that makes perfect sense. And I also like that Jey's got a bit of bite. I like that Jey's got a bit of something where it's like, oh, you're adding this bit of texture to this character. Yeah. Because the eating is super fun. I really enjoy main event Jey Uso. Well, I mean, I love the visual. When you get to the wide and all the people are having fun and it's a great thing. Does it need to go on twice for 15 minutes? No. But I really enjoy it and I like the energy, especially when he's in they start the shot of him with everyone backstage and he's yakking to camera and then he comes out and you get that big visual. I think all of that's really cool. And then we start the matches and I like Jey Uso a lot, but I'm not as engaged with the fullness of the character. So giving him a little bit of bite is like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Let's go down that road.
Well, that's where they went with the episode in like the biggest way yet since Roman had that initial chat with him. First, we go backstage. LA Knight wants to fight a Braun, any Braun, doesn't matter which Braun. So him versus Reed is booked for the main event. Then later on, we have AJ Styles talking to Dragon Lee backstage. Jimmy Uso says hi to them. I saw that as definitely Jimmy's on Raw now.
Yeah, I mean, LA Knight said something about this is Raw, not SmackDown. Who cares? They don't. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get that there's a soft brand split, but
they announced
Seth and Becky were on, and Punk and AJ were all on SmackDown.
Well, that's okay when they appear. I think you can do one-off appearances.
But Becky was also on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago because it was in Dublin. But you know,
that's okay.
What are we doing? Like.
But then Jimmy says hi to them and he sees Jey Uso leaving. He's got his bag, his wheelie bag. Yeah. And he says, whoa, where are you going? We need to be around to help Knight in the main event. Bron Breakker's obviously going to get involved. And Jey says, not my problem. I don't care about the guy. And Jimmy says, you don't sound like yourself. You sound like Roman.
Which was really fun. And I rewound it and watched it back and I was like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good line. And like that line there made the whole first segment feel way better because that feels more in line with that great era of bloodline storytelling, which I don't think we've had for quite some time.
No, I mean, they definitely, I think the post 40 solo hostile takeover was really good. And then it sort of lost a bit of steam. It was put to bed. And now we're in this kind of like... It's all been quite tepid, I think it's fair to say. And I think that's not necessarily like by design, but I think they're okay with that. We've moved on to other top stories. We've moved on to other focuses. And so whatever this chapter of the Bloodline saga is a little bit on a simmer rather than on full heat. And this felt more like intensity.
So then backstage later on, Jimmy goes up to LA Knight in the locker room because he stayed there. And he says, look, I'll be there to protect you later on. And LA Knight, even though it's not in his best interest, said, no, I don't want Jey helping me. I don't want you. You stopped me winning a crown jewel years ago against Roman. Usually when baby faces are like that, I feel like they're being quite dumb. Why not just get the extra manpower when you're going to be obviously outnumbered in the main event? But here, I'm so into Knight's character.
Yeah.
That I just found it badass.
Well, it's incredibly authentic to what we have built LA Knight to be as a character over the course of however long. Like, LA Knight is a loudmouth, lone wolf, doesn't really do... He's an equal opportunity, S-talker. Like, he'll sort of have a go at everybody.
Yeah.
Also, Jimmy has flip-flopped so many times. Like, he took out Jey. Now he's supporting Jey. He's with Solo. He's not with Solo. I don't trust you. So, perfectly justifiable for LA Knight.
And then in the main event, we got LA Knight versus Bronson Reed. Knight's physicality was so good because he was constantly looking between Reed in the ring and Breaker on the outside, really getting over that story of, I'm outnumbered here and I've got no one in my own corner. They had, I thought, a pretty good match.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm now just on more on board with LA Knight or if LA Knight has actually gotten better.
I think LA Knight is a great presence. I don't know that I would say I look forward to the match part as much as I look forward to the character part.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Which is asterisk if we're going down the Jey LA Knight feud route. I see so many great segments. Do I see a great match? Do you know what I mean? But that's a question for people at higher pay grade than me and also far more talented in the ring than me. So whatever.
What about a Jey versus Jimmy feud?
Yeah, we've done that, haven't we? We were there.
Could be going that direction too.
Running back, went so well the first time. But the match almost feels incidental to me, to the character work, which is not necessarily
WWE in general, or just this
particular moment on this particular episode of Monday Night Raw. Because it kind of is. Raw's there to set up things to lead you to a big match at the big event,
particularly the main events on TV of Raw.
This is not me saying it was bad. It just... Was I reaching for my phone a lot more? Yes.
So Reed got the win, which I don't mind because I think Reed, they're going for the big PLE tag title thing. Breaker was distracted him on the outside. It makes sense in my head. Jimmy runs down to save Knight, but Breaker spears him. Jey runs down. He didn't actually leave. There is good in him, but Breaker speared him as well. And then they were going to hit a double tsunami on both of the Usos. But LA Knight comes in with a chair, starts taking out the bronze, checks on Jey and is like, are we good? And Jay's like, yeah. And then he goes over to Jimmy, shakes hands with him, and Jey just hits LA Knight with a spear to close the show.
And that popped me right back up. I was like, oh, hello.
It gives him that edge that you were talking about earlier. Because Jey Uso has just been a generic babyface. Yeah. He's got the yeet stuff. Yeah, people love him, but what is the character?
I think
I'm a good guy.
I think I know his characteristics. I think I know his energy. I think I know what he's bringing. But in terms of I think he seems like a really nice guy to be around, really fun guy to be around. I root for him because he seems like a nice person. Character-wise, it doesn't really go much further than that. So when you start adding those extra shades, extra textures, that's when you start to really unlock someone's potential. And immediately, in the look he's giving LA Knight, I'm like, there's stuff to play with here. The fact that you're right, he makes a point of leaving, but he clearly didn't go very far. Let's say he went to the bar at the hotel, thought about it for a while, and then was seeing them on the TV, and he was like, oh, I could make it back in time. I'll go help.
Hopefully got an Uber.
Yeah, good point, well made. Maybe it's across the road. Who's to say? And he just waited patiently at the pedestrian crossing and then ran. But the idea that he was like, no, I have enough moral compass to come and help and even the odds, or in this case, over the odds. There's 3-on-2. But I still don't like you, and I'm still going to make a point of looking out for myself because you got me squashed by Bronson Reed earlier on in his justification. That's interesting. There's interesting character compass points to work with there.
Which is why I think we both agree it's not a heel turn.
Certainly not a cut and dry one.
It's definitely the start of something more complex about Jey's character.
Oh, because the idea of going into you live long enough to see yourself become the tribal chief. That's great.
Well, Roman said, look, if you want to be more like Roman, stop caring about other people.
Yeah.
And Jey has stopped caring about other people. Jimmy already said, you're starting to sound like Roman. And like, main event Jey Uso, I've never really gotten on board with because I don't like it when they have to tell me the spot on the card.
Okay.
It's very, very tell, don't show.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just had a bit of a one-dimensional presence. But he was super, super engaging as the overly zealous convert to Roman.
The right-hand man.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Like, that was a great performance by Jey.
And that's what led him to ultimately become main event Jey Uso.
Yeah. But now maybe we're going into a more fusion of both of those things where he has that edge, the more like adult edge of the bloodline right-hand man stuff, and the babyface appeal of the eating.
Yeah.
It'll be a tricky one to juggle all those potentially contrasting attributes.
Yeah.
But he's done it before in a way. When the Usos were tweeners against the New Day.
I mean, that's like anti-heroes in general, and we'll sort of talk about that a little bit maybe when we get onto the other main event program going on. It's really hard to be a babyface. It's really hard to be a heel. I don't know if you've seen the clip of Dominic Mysterio in the ad break. So obviously during the ad breaks...
Oh, we got cheered.
Massive pops, like huge, sustained reactions for his entire promo. And it's like... You know, is that because it's not because he's trying to get over as a babyface? It's because people in the audience like to respond to babyfaces and heels based more on whether or not they appreciate the work than the actual character themselves. So, you know, if you're going to play with being an anti-hero, you can maybe find a really nice balance between the two here. Roman has it. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm keen to... I think this is a really nice direction.
Well, let's see what everyone thinks on the chat gables. WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read out every single one over $5. Ben Vlaric writes, little torn on a Jey heel turn. YEET is still over, but Jey with an attitude is far more interesting. I remember the days back in the bloodline. He was far more complex then, or maybe he could be a dick, but still be a face. I mean, look at Roman.
Yeah, and like Steve Austin, The Rock.
The Rock was an absolute arsehole.
Yeah.
Booster Bold writes, everyone came together to stop the Roman. I'm glad that truce is coming to an end. The faces are fighting again. If the bloodline were villains, would the Vision be villains? Oh, right. So they put emojis in. If the bloodline were Batman villains, I think, would the Vision be Spider-Man villains? I think that could work.
Interesting.
Because Seth and Becky no longer fit their group, lol. I think I'm reading that right.
Maybe the emojis are just for fun. But it is interesting that I see a distinction now between Seth and Becky and Braun and Bronson, which is smart. Like, it's good to have the henchmen be more than just henchmen and be involved in their own thing going on.
Kuzu writes, very surprised Jey actually got booed for what he did. That's another point we didn't talk about. Jimmy was berating him for what he did, and the crowd were too. Which is shocking given how over he is. I agree with Oli, that is the most interesting angle in the bloodline in a while, and it's funny how, despite being a face now, Roman is still corrupting others.
Which is so interesting. I haven't really thought about that, but like... If you're encouraging someone to go off and be there, he's not encouraging he's not encouraging Jey to get in line behind him. He's encouraging Jey to step into its own light. But it still counts as manipulation, apparently. It's interesting. I love it.
Some guy, finally for now, I hope this is a heel turn, could lead to an interesting storyline where face Roman interacts with a heel Jey. Also, with Jimmy, Jey and Roman all on Raw at the moment, no old bloodline is on SmackDown, separating Sami from anyone leading up to WrestleMania, leaving the only direction... Well, do you know what's coming?
Maybe.
For him being one Cody Rhodes.
Oh, that's not what I thought. That's not what I thought was coming. I keep thinking about that. Was it the Monday after WrestleMania where Jey has the belt and Sami's behind him, and there was a distinct shot of Sami having a look.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was going to go down. Oh, one of the early feuds for him could be a sort of heel Sami Zayn, like a jealous Sami Zayn. Maybe we go there somewhere. We have a storyline to be told between those two, but with the roles reversed.
Yeah.
Like, Sami being like, "What happened to you?" Jey being like, I had to get my belt back in some way. I don't know. Maybe we go down that road because I'm still beating the Punk Cody was for WrestleMania.
Well, I think I agree. It's a bigger time match, particularly for Mania.
Yeah.
But there's also quite a beautiful thing maybe to be told where the moment Sammy leaves Jey, Jey starts to go back towards Roman, when it was Sammy who was the saving force of Jey in the bloodline.
It always was. Yeah, interesting.
Very nice. Let's get on with the rest of the show. But before we do, there is a poll result. We've got 64% for no yeet.
Right.
That is no heel turn.
Yeah.
But a third of people believe Jey has turned heel.
But I like the fact that I think heel turns now take a lot more than just do a move on a goodie and leave. It used to very much be that it was like one super kick and you've switched. There's, like I said, I keep using the word texture, but that's what it is. It's like, it's multifaceted this now.
Yeah.
The writing is a little bit more nuanced.
Also, we should probably promote next week because on the 15th, it is the brand new series of Monday Night Raw. Where, after 2 seasons of me and Luke battling each other, a new challenger has entered the arena.
Someone's come back to claim his crown.
Yes. It is. We're not saying what the theme is.
Oh, no.
A theme that we came up with on the first episode and made a huge part of the entire show.
Yeah. Well, I think we accidentally vibed ourselves into a shoot.
Yeah, and what a choice it was.
It really has turned into a choice, yeah.
Parts unknown on Monday. That will start with the draft day episode, and then the rest of the series, apart from PLEs, this is very confusing to promote, will be on patreon.com/WrestleTalk, but PLE shows will be on YouTube.
Yeah. So you get like, what is it? It turns into sort of like every 4 weeks, like a monthly dose of Monday Night War. And this series has a lot of attitude, so I'm really into it.
Imagine pay-per-views, but the pay-per-views are on free TV.
Hello.
And you have to pay for weekly TV.
It's the reverse. It's Vince McMahon's dream model, is what it was.
Right, so this episode of Raw, we opened with that Usos segment that we've already covered. Then AJ Styles took on El Grande Americano.
He certainly did.
And there was a bit of interference from another Americano, but ultimately Dragon Lee stopped that from happening. AJ hit a Styles clash to a mega pop to win.
Well, because I don't know if it was the for AJ or just because that looked so good. Like that little sequence, it was a roll-up that AJ rolled out of and worked so well with Americano to turn it into the Styles Clash. It looked so good. I was clapping. Do you know what I mean? I think good wrestling is always nice to see.
I agree on that. But I also think we didn't see this. In the commercial break, AJ cut a worksheet promo where he talked about someone behind the scenes doesn't want him to succeed.
Oh, for God's sake.
So when I beat Americano, let's do it to make them feel pain. So I feel like that probably worked up the crowd a bit. So when AJ wins, it was more about that as well.
I can't with these work shoots, someone in the back doesn't want me to succeed promos. I'm sick of it. I get that you've got to go into business for yourself and grab the brass ring or whatever, but come on. You're a multi-time world champion, AJ. It's not like you've not been featured. You've been supported and you've succeeded quite a lot.
Pierce, then Adam Pierce, considering
if it's more of a work, then fine, let's crack on. But
it is a work.
But if there's an inch of shoe, I'm like,
you just want pure fiction.
Yeah,
nothing based on reality.
No, I don't like it.
I just want escapism. I want everyone to be getting on really well behind the scenes.
Put an asterisk in that sentence for something that happens later on in the show, because yes.
Adam Pearce is talking to Io Sky backstage, and he just casually says, vaguely, oh yeah, so Stephanie's not here tonight. The contract signing's off. I hope she can make the PLE.
It's just the last time this happened, Naomi got pregnant. What's happening? What's in the water at WWE Catering in the minute?
Jimmy Uso. Getting those hot tags.
No, I don't know. Do we know anything about Stephanie at this point? Is she all right?
No, I hope
just
so.
not on the show. Maybe it was a travel issue.
Yeah, or a little niggling injury. Hopefully, it'll clear up by the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But Nikki, because I guess she's everyone's best friend.
It feels to me at this point like Nikki Bella is wandering the halls trying to make friends.
I So Brian Alvarez said this. It's weird how Nikki comes up and says, "Oh, what's up with Stephanie?"
Yeah.
Like Nikki was the one to attack her.
Oh, interesting.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that's where they're going.
But it could be.
But I think, and this is me now, I think it could be really funny to turn Nikki Bella into a bit of a delusional, but yeah, like I'm everyone's mentor.
I'm everyone's mate.
When everyone's like, no, you weren't that good.
No,
You're not that good now.
Well, no, because then that look what happened to Wade Barrett. That doesn't go well if you do that. I feel like I was pushing for a long time for like Natalya to be given the like godmother, like make a godmother role. Like,
she's too legit though.
No, but this is it. Back in the day, I was like, back in the day being like 2 years ago. That makes me want to be sick. But I was thinking about like, that's a really interesting use of Natalya to have her be sort of like the Don Corleone of the women's division or whatever. Like have her be someone who was, and it would give her a character a bit of bite. I don't know. The idea of a delusional version of that in Nikki Bella being like, I mean, I guess we had a version of it in Thank You Trish, somewhere between Thank You Trish and Chelsea Green for Nikki Bella would be quite fun.
Yeah. Asuka stepped up and said, "Stop talking to Nikki. Stop talking to EO. I will beat the respect out of you."
Great.
So that set up a match for later on. Lyra Valkyria and Raquel Rodriguez. But honestly, before this match started, I went, we haven't had a Judgment Day segment.
No.
There's been no match. There's been no clubhouse. 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't miss it.
Yesterday on the way home, I was at the pub and I was on the way home and I just started thinking about the original spoopy Judgment Day. And I started watching clips of them and I was like, how have we gone from Damian Priest ending a match to just be bathed in purple light going at the camera to chicken tenders and some like, I don't know, like royalty-free trap music as Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. This is the same group. Like there is lineage between Edge in purple and this. It's wild.
Yeah, I miss the purple light days too. But this was a decent match. I think Raquel has really like... So I think she's talking to... Is it Kevin Nash?
Kevin Nash and Undertaker.
Yeah, about how to work as a giant band.
Yeah.
And it's really paid dividends for her.
Yeah, big time. I think it's really interesting that she, because a lot of people have a lot of podcasts, like to share their opinions, and you can take it or you can leave. I think like everyone's well within their rights, especially if you're a veteran of the industry, to give a bit of insight and say, I think this. You don't have to take it. You don't have to dismiss it out of hand. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But if you think, all right, Kevin Nash, that's a really interesting argument. Also, you were one of the most famous big men in the industry. I could sit under your learning tree for a minute. Yeah. See what happens. Apply it. Might work. Might not work. See what happens. I think she's got a really good attitude, and I think it's really effective.
Yeah. And Lyra Valkyria, I think, is always excellent in this sort of role. And yet they just had a really good match.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Felt like the bit that really got it for me was Lyra is on the top rope with Raquel, and she tries twice to hit this Hurricane Rana thing.
The way back up.
Yeah. And it's because Raquel's so strong. So Lyra needs like 2 attempts to weaken her to get to hit the move. But Raquel, relatively clean. A bit of Roxanne distraction, but no actual interference. Hits the Tahoma?
Tahana. I think it's the Mexican word for Texas.
Tahini bomb to win clean.
Might be completely wrong. If anyone's from Texas, please do feel free to correct me on that. But this was preceded by little AJ Lee.
Yeah, video package.
And I spent the first sort of portion of this match thinking about the difference between when AJ was the Divas champion and the fact that they called her the Divas champion. Often in the past, they talk about you being a world champion, so they don't have to use that word. They showcase the Divas title a lot, like close-ups of it. So I was just really reflecting on like how distant that feels like to now, and how I think it was someone said to I think with Bayley said to Punk, like, I'm glad you can be here to see the change in culture that you instigated. AJ's getting her version of that now, because they've gone from having like 3-minute segments when she cut that Total Divas pipe bomb to now where we have not only mid-card titles, but we also have this match taking place between people, and it's not about a championship. It's kind of just a cold match because Lyra wants to have a scrap. And Raquel's open to having a scrap. And I like that. I think that's really cool.
It's like, in a weird way, that this is such a normal thing to happen on
and
Raw.
This is what equity is about.
Yeah.
It's not about, I mean, you sort of have to overcorrect for a period of time, but wasn't it after Evolution, like the first hour was all women's wrestling and they didn't make a point of it? Like that's what equality looks like.
Yeah, it's when you've watched a whole episode and you go, huh,
Yeah.
there were three
And
women's matches.
I wouldn't have thought twice about that had I not been on an AJ Lee weekend. Do you know what I mean?
It's like the Bechdel test
Yeah.
has been passed.
Yeah.
Backstage, we get Penta talking to Adam Pearce, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, why don't you love Penta?"
So here's the thing. My friend was staying with me a couple of weeks ago, and she's never watched wrestling. She sort of knows it vaguely. She's familiar with certain names. Her brothers watch wrestling, so she, has a vague awareness when she was growing up. I'm watching Raw, and I'm watching with her, and she's just sort of sitting there, and she sees Penta. He scared the bejesus out of her because he does that whole meh thing, and she was like, "Oh, I don't like this man." And so now I see Penta differently. So there was something about him taking Adam Pearce. Come this way with Penta. What's wrong? I was like, don't go with the scary ghost. Like it was, I love it. It was really funny to me.
He's quite nicely threatening. Though.
Yeah,
he's like, hey,
I love Penta.
But, I thought everyone likes Penta. Why do you not like Penta?
Yeah.
And Pierce is like, I love Penta. What are you talking about? And Penta goes, well, maybe book me in an Intercontinental title shot.
Yeah.
You jabroni.
Haven't had one of those in a while.
Rusev walks in. Before you know it, they're having a match. Then we get the AJ Lee segment. This probably went 40 minutes.
I checked this. So upstairs, Kieran said that you said this.
Yeah.
And I checked it. It went for 17 minutes. 1-7.
No.
Yeah. She came out at 1 hour and 6 minutes. The promo segment was over by 1 hour and 24 minutes.
What, with all the Punk, Rollins, Becky stuff?
Mm-hmm. They'd moved on to the boxy box. Promise. Scouts Honor.
No way. Oh, well.
But did it feel long?
It did not feel long. It felt substantial because so that's probably why I thought it took literally twice as long.
It packed a lot in.
Because it wasn't just a promo. There were two halves to this. There were two acts almost to this segment. AJ Lee comes out first. She's got Becky's IC title around her waist. Huge reaction, very high pitched reaction. And she explains, for everyone who wasn't here 10 years ago, I'm your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, which is an old David Starr catchphrase.
It's much well used.
It's a great catchphrase, but I always think of him now. And she says she retired 10 years ago because she'd accomplished everything she wanted.
That's what happened, yeah.
That's definitely why she left WWE.
It had nothing to do with anything else.
And of course, we're alluding to the fact that her employer, WWE, was allegedly proxy suing her husband, CM Punk.
Everything's fine. Like that didn't happen. She had accomplished everything she wanted. And in fairness, there was one title at the time, so she kind of had. Like she'd dominated this division. She was a bit injured. And I think she very much was like, sod this.
Can't be bothered.
Fair enough. At that point, with everything that was going on, fair enough.
It was like a year before the whole NXT invasion,
the whole release,
Horsewomen.
The release of the pay. It was that WrestleMania 31 was her last, and then the Raw after was her last match, and then the women's evolution begins sort of 3, 4, 5 months later.
Maybe she was holding them back.
Maybe she was.
And she said how she had to leave to get herself healthy, which is really similar to Punk's AEW debut promo. So, I took time away to get healthy. And she got the crowd chanting for therapy.
Which was very
funny. Therapy. She said it was okay watching her husband fight Drew and John Cena, but when it was Becky Lynch slapping him, she was like, I better come back here. And then Becky comes out, and you were talking about true equality earlier. We had a chat, I think, two weeks ago that said that they thought WWE should focus on booking a really good women's division rather than putting the women in with the men. And me and Luke were like, I think we disagree. I think you should have all versions of it. You got women's stuff, men's stuff, and factions where they can coexist.
They should cross over,
And then when Becky came out and she starts going into her promo, I thought, you're my favorite character in the company.
Becky Lynch's current character, I completely agree. I mean, I'm a stan. We know this. I'm a Becky fan. I have been for a really long time. This iteration of her character is exceptional. She's the one I look forward to. She is the star. If this is very much Seth and Punk being shoved into Becky's story.
Yeah. This is a Becky versus AJ Lee feud. Also a Becky versus Punk feud.
Yep.
And Seth is also there.
Yeah.
Which is often the case with Seth. I find.
But because we don't do SmackDown reviews, putting over that segment on Friday, I thought all 4 of them were absolutely exceptional. Seth made that for me.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
So first of all, it's Punk coming out and he's up there waving. I'm laughing really hard. The fact that they're wearing matching outfits, hinting that they're going to do a tag match. Love that. Then when you've got AJ makes the return, this is a man who like has cashed in on Punk, has his number, like absolutely has the upper hand. No like fear. I'm going to ruin you and make you leave this company. AJ comes back. I'm going to wait until you're over there before I climb over the barricade. This is a man who also made a point of diving over the barricade as his entrance, stumbles while doing it, picks Becky up along the way. The whole thing was exceptional. And it's part of this whole anti-hero thing that I was mentioning with Jey. Seth and Becky have created these heel characters who are not trying to be cool. They're not cool heels. Yeah. They're just heels. They're just delusional. They're arrogant. They're deeply unlikable, which is so entertaining to watch. I love them both.
Yeah. I was going to say the stumble over the barricade.
Yeah.
When Seth comes down. That really sent me. And
wonderful.
Here, I thought he was actually really good here. And I do love Seth.
Yeah.
What I dislike is Seth's character for the last year and a half.
Oh, the freaking.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But here, because Becky was playing so over the top and irate, Seth came in as kind of
voice of reason.
Yeah, the voice of reason. He was trying to play it down. Like, okay, yeah, don't worry, I'll get in there. I'll get the title back. And it just made it funnier.
Yeah,
that he was playing it so straight. But yeah, sorry, just before Seth came out, Becky said, and where's Punk? What sort of man hides behind his wife?
There you go.
I think a man at the side also called Becky a chicken.
Yeah,
and Becky said, while flapping her arms, I'm not a chicken. and that was off the cuff. And so Seth gets in the ring. He's trying to get the belt off AJ. AJ's being a sort of zany. I forgot how...
She's the most millennial person in the world.
Most
millennial person in the world.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like all I'm watching, I was like, Christ, you're millennial. Like she's doing this, like I'm AJ, like random, see, it's so millennial.
I didn't. Yeah, I forgot that was what millennial was. I guess.
Yeah.
Do you mean like 2010 mice, like
so,
Tumblr?
Nostalgia is a really wonderful thing. Like it's great to have a moment where you go, oh, there's that thing that I used to like. And it's even better when they come back and they look exactly the same as they did when they left. Yeah. And then she cuts a promo where she's basically exactly the same as she was when she left. It's like her and Punk are nerds. They're 2010 Tumblr nerds. And I liked it for this initial promo. And this whole segment I thought was really effective. I'd like to see a little bit more like of the 38-year-old AJ Lee now. Okay, I'd like to see what she's learned over the past 10 years and how this is the second promo. Therapy.
She said she learned therapy.
So tell me more. This is the other promo where they got cut off because I think they were trying to speed things up a little bit. I think AJ was about to get into something really interesting and then got cut off rather than having said the thing and then getting cut off in the storyline. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Seth's in the ring. He's trying to get the belt. Punk appears, goes for a GTS, but Seth escapes. And AJ had already set up, I'll give you the IC title back, Becky, if you agree to an intergender tag at WrestlePalooza.
Yeah.
And Seth, once he's out the ring, goes, we accept. So yeah,
Great.
It's the match. We all knew it was coming. It's the best built thing in the company.
It really is.
It's bigger than John Cena versus Brock Lesnar.
It really is. Isn't that an afterthought? By the way, like Brock's here. Anyway, thanks John Cena, whatever. But like mainly, look at this.
I feel like WWE have brought Brock back to be this huge thing, but they also don't want to push it too much because they're aware of the potential PR backlash.
It's a lot bit shady, really. This idea of like, and they can get away with it because there's so much goodwill going on, and that's a shame in and of itself. But like, there's something really. I think the crowd reactions are going to give it to you. I think there was a graphic shown, and it was like, and also Brock is going to be on SmackDown on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it just wasn't shown in the arena, but there was zero reaction in the crowd.
Yeah, Hogan would get booed.
This is it. I don't know. I think the tide is sort of turning, and I think at some point they're going to have to pay attention to it. But this segment shows that when you give them what people are actually interested in, and this was where I put a pin in something you said earlier on. I loved this segment, and I loved the Friday segment, and I'm so excited for this match so much because I feel like these 4 people are having the time of their lives at work. I think Becky loves this character. I think she's leaning in and luxuriating in this character. I think Seth is having fun with his wife. He's the world champion. He's got a great sort of character going, and now he gets this little side quest. Punk's face when AJ came out on Friday was a sight to behold. It was such joy. AJ's, what a reaction that must have felt like for her. Like, there's a world where it was 10 years ago. That's a long time. People might have forgotten you. They certainly didn't. It looks like everyone is really enjoying their time at work, and that makes me enjoy it even more. So, yeah.
Bayley isn't. She is very morally conflicted. She had another interview style promo pre-filmed. She doesn't know. She didn't want to hurt Lyra, but she doesn't know how Lyra can forgive her when she can't even forgive herself. She'll make it right.
I'd like to see this in the arena now. I'd like to see what we're doing with this character now.
We're there. Rusev and Penta then had a match. This is sort of indicative of Raw's directionless lower mid card.
Yeah.
Because Rusev's coming off the Sheamus win. Penta is coming off the 6-person win last week, as Tessitore pointed out. But it was just a New Day distracting Penta again. Match could kick. Rusev wasn't really getting the same level of reaction that he was in the Donnybrook one.
Yeah. I think it's... this for me is very much when the episode started to trail off. There was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't alive.
Yeah.
So...
not good for Rusev. Because it just... I was curious after the Sheamus match in Paris.
Yeah.
If he'll start getting good reactions in America.
And this is where my thing with, titles don't need to be the be-all and end-all, but at the moment your mid-card title is on someone who's challenging for a title in a different promotion, and it is clearly over in a massive way, so should be a champion. But, this belt and something to fight for would be really useful for this mid-card at the minute, so...
Yeah. Jimmy then goes to scene night backstage, which we've covered. Nikki then took on Asuka, which was set up earlier, and Asuka just kicked her in the head a lot. A lot. And then made her tap out in the Asuka lock.
Yeah, which was fine.
Don't speak out on a podcast about Wade's comments. I think it's unrelated. But I don't know why...
to say anything in case I get called out on a podcast.
I know why Nikki's here.
Yeah.
Because it's a legend. She's got this marketing reach. But I don't know why Nikki's here. They don't have anything for her
narratively,
apart from just wandering around backstage and talking to baby faces.
Who was she going to have a match? Oh, she was going to have a program with Liv ahead of Evolution, and then that didn't happen because Liv got injured. I think it is that thing of when Nikki pops up continually, I'm like, oh, you're here. It's not like.
Yeah,
I get when you come back for a bit and you do a little program and then you go away and then you come back as a Legends deal. That makes perfect sense to me. It's like, oh no, you're a part of the weekly roster now, so they should have something for you to do.
Yeah,
and it doesn't feel like that.
Judgment Day backstage. Finn calls out Dom for hanging out with El Grande Americano. Dom says, "You don't understand, man. It's a lucha thing." And Finn says they'll want something in return. Dom storms off, and Roxanne goes to talk to him. Roxanne's going to have a match against Lyra next week as well.
So she is.
And Nikki's walking backstage. The Kabuki Warriors square up to her. Well, Asuka does. Kairi's just being nice. And
Lovely dress Kairi was wearing.
Rhea Ripley then appears, and Asuka said that she's the top woman in WWE. So maybe that's what it is. A Rhea and Nikki versus Kabuki Warriors match.
It feels to me like this Asuka stuff is going down. Asuka versus Io, which I am tremendously excited for. Turns out Triple H is a big Joshi fan. In the meantime, you've obviously quite clearly got your Asuka Rhea Ripley thing going on. And while we're setting up Io winning the title to give Asuka something to go for, we need to have this match to take place. I think this tag team match is exactly where it's going to go for a little bit of time. They found someone on the roster to tag with Rhea Ripley. We've got Nikki around. She's not doing much. Whack her in that slot. And then we're going to have a moment where Io's like, hey, Rhea, time for you to get a title shot and we can finish that match we never got to have, Evolution, we nearly whatever. Asuka gets cross. that's where the story goes, which I'm into.
I like that they're merging them all into
It's this
big
interconnected
act.
narrative. I think it's really good.
And then we got the main event, which was Knight versus Reed, and the potentially Jey Uso. Well, 30%, a third of people say it was a heel turn. Overall, I gave it 77%. I really like this episode because of the Jey stuff.
How do you find your percentages?
I've got a really big document that I have all of them. It's like, I think there's about 300 entries. So weekly TV of AEW, SmackDown, and Raw.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, first I go, I felt like not quite a 4 out of 5 show.
Right.
And then I'll look at where I feel 4 out of 5 is, which is 80% to 70%. I'm like, no, it's better than that one, better than that one, better than that one. It goes there. It's 77%.
Okay. That's fun. I like that. It's a good system.
There is a reasoning, but yeah.
I didn't know if there was like an algorithm and you'd typed in a couple of things and then it presented you with a... I thumbs up. I liked the show. I thought it was good. It's not perfect, far from it. It wasn't like a get in. It was a good continuation episode of their TV show.
Have your vote. We've got the poll on the screen for live viewers now. Before we get on with our remaining Omega chats, they're called chat gables, God damn it, that's an AW thing. Let's say a big thank you to our Patreons who will all be getting Monday Night War from Monday. Big Jiggy Josh Martin.
Oh yeah, we do. Okay,
actually,
should we do it in the middle? Cut it.
Actually, I could get it up here. Born
to Do It, Evan Shibley. John's better, beefier brother, James Morrison. I'm doing this till you've got it. Abominable, Michael Abbott.
The Ring Rust Warrior, Rustage.
The Machine Gun, Alex Anderson.
He's a sexy man. Sexy man. Not an Andrew Gross man.
Balding Brummy, Brett Linforth.
Lynette, Go Ace. The Ace of Spades, Adrian Santil.
The Cleaner, Kenny Shah.
They put the Mo in Movember.
And the British Bulldog, Philip Boy J. Smith Jr.
Lovely. Thank you very much. And of course, go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk because Monday Night War, the new series, which I will not disclose the subtitle for because it gives away the theme, starts on Monday. Right, remaining at Chat Gables. Send in your thoughts to WrestleTalk.com/support. Pat the Booker writes, who had a better return, AJ Lee or Punk? In my opinion, I think AJ is better. She immediately jumped into a storyline, unlike CM Punk, who just showed up for a Chicago hometown pop, I like after War Games. Story greater than moments. Right, second question. I've been pondering, and it's a 2-part hypothetical. Do you think AJ Lee would have returned, A, to WWE without Punk, B, to AEW if Punk would have stayed there and there was no drama? So let's take that one by one. Who had the better return to WWE specifically, I think they're saying?
Yeah.
AJ or Punk?
Well, I think they had completely different returns. I think in terms of like shoving yourself straight into a top story, AJ wins on that one. But what a blinder of a moment that Punk was. So I think it's a little bit comparing apples and oranges. Or apples and pears.
I feel like Punk...
Punk wins it for me. But the AJ's one made me feel happy.
I was going to say AJ Lee.
Oh, really?
Because the Punk one to WWE is...
It was very different for you than it was for me. Punk's return got me on telly, so I was a big fan.
Right. Punk Rock just sold out. This was Johnny Rodden doing a Lurpak commercial or whatever it was. Do you think AJ Lee returns to WWE without Punk?
Possibly. I don't think she goes to AEW.
Really, even if Punk's there?
Beth Phoenix hasn't shown up in AEW. Contractually, I don't know her situation with WWE, but I don't see AJ doing anything I don't see AEW having a story that she would go, I think she would have shown up for a story in AEW, and I don't think they would have found one for her.
I think, no, she wouldn't have gone back to WWE without Punk. Yes, she would have gone to AEW. William Rosmer, my favourite part of the AJ Becky Seth Punk promo was Becky saying she's not a chicken while flapping her arms like a bird.
Yeah, it was good.
Also, the opposite of yeet is yoink. So I guess yeet, yoink.
Okay, interesting. Strong.
Anonymous writes, hey lads, what a loop of WWE TV. Being there in Chicago and up close on Raw was awesome. Lost my mind voice when Brock's music hit, but I never popped harder to see someone skip in my life.
Yeah.
I believe after AJ Lee's promo, I think Bayley would be a perfect opponent.
Well, I'm interested that she signed a deal. She could have easily come in just for this one program and then gone off. She's going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Little bit of fantasy booking there.
Talking to people in the crowd, I'm pretty sure I saw the Red Ladder Media guy.
Could you?
In, like, when AJ Lee's music hits.
Yeah.
Set it up. I'm pretty sure he's just, like, in the crowd, expressionless, with a beer, and he just goes... It's brilliant. Aaron Hamrahan, been a member for 3 months in a row. Thank you. I'm so excited for AJ Lee's run. Her promo was great. I love the therapy chant. AJ and Becky feud going to be so good. Mm-hmm. I think the Bayley feud would be very good too.
There's a lot of threads. The Roxanne and AJ mixing it up sounds like fun to me.
Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
Roach Senpai on Nikki Bella says they think Nikki should never have come back to WWE on what looks like a full-time basis. She reminds people of how the past divas were. AJ Lee wanted to kill off that past and be taken seriously, and Bella isn't really helping with that, in my opinion.
I think... I see why you say that, and I appreciate that. I think Nikki's there with the best of intentions. Do you know what I mean?
I liked Becky's promo against Nikki, where she said... you weren't laying the foundation. I was replacing you.
Yeah.
Space Viking writes, I think they started something with the Becky-Nikki feud that I think AJ Lee could finish. Could be interesting. The last diva versus the mum WWE wrestling. But WWE are willing to tease, but not actually go there. What? Maybe the man?
Or if it's AJ Lee, she's like, they all call her mother. Like, Roxanne's like, oh, mom. Lyra's like, mom, like it's
like an AJ versus Nikki Bella feud?
Like,
oh god,
you know, the AJ walked the walk while Nikki didn't. Maybe.
Anonymous again writes, I don't think it's a heat turn, but adding more layers to his character. He tasted gold, so Jim won't understand. AJ Styles has been teasing retirement, so I was cheering hard. I've done a complete 180 on Raquel. She looks smoother in the ring and connects better.
Yeah,
picked up on that.
It's more closer to Raquel Rodriguez.
Alex Gonzalez.
What was she in NXT?
Gonzalez, yeah. Alex Pires writes, hey guys, and congrats, Oli, on the book. What? This book that you can order using the links in the description below.
Goodness.
Wow.
Well played.
It's been out long enough now where people who don't know who I am have written reviews.
Great.
And there's one review on the American Amazon page that says, it's like reading someone high on LSD talking to someone who's high on weed.
Which is really interesting because that's precisely what's happening on this podcast.
I have microdosed loads, which means I've taken a whole tab.
Yeah, and I can't drive for the foreseeable future.
But back to Alex. Fantasy booking question. If Timeless Tony Storm leaves AEW and goes to WWE in a shocking departure like Cody Rhodes did, how would you book Tony Storm's return in your booking? Thanks.
Christ, I haven't even thought about that.
But to NXT, obviously.
Yeah. I'd be leaving Timeless back in the history because it's like it feels so specific to that era. But I don't know.
Run back the Mariah May feud.
Hey.
I've followed you from promotion to promotion.
Yeah.
It's a big one. Ben Vlaric writes, hey lads, just a quick question related to WrestlePalooza and All Out. Planning on watching both. Have you guys announced yet when you'll review it? Do you do both the next day or just curious? Well, the wrestling that weekend. Exciting. So it is also, me and Luke are gonna probably watch All Out. Not on stream, but at home.
Because it's happening at a reasonable hour.
Yeah, we could watch it from like 7 p.m. our time to, 5 a.m. when it finishes.
They've moved it back so it doesn't get counter-programmed. Now they just start it earlier so they can fit more matches in.
So we'll watch that, and then Luke will write the review of All Out. I'll watch WrestlePalooza very early the next morning. Write that review. It'll be a bumper WrestleTalk news episode, and we will have watched both to do the podcast in the afternoon.
And it will be a side-by-side podcast.
Like this.
And Luke's, I mean like Luke's reviewing
All
Out directly to camera and you're reviewing
it'll all happen on the 21st, which is the day after. Booster Bold. I see WrestleTalk brought the sexy back. Hi, Dan.
Well, you know.
Ethan Skillman at work, so we'll catch up on this later, but just wanted to say Raw was all right, I guess.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I set I sat 2 rows in front of Dan at the BBC Ghosts talk last year and was too awkward nervous to say hi, so here's a chat Gable to say hi instead.
Pleasure. What a fun night that was. Yeah, I enjoyed that very much. It was lovely.
I went to the Mitchell & Webb BFI premiere last Wednesday, and that had KL from Ghost
KL.
in.
Yeah. He's great. Very good.
He was the funniest person on stage.
So funny.
He's really quick-witted. Real Double J. This is in Double J style, going to be quite niche. Due to taking my heel daughter to Coldplay, I'm still playing catch-up with videos, so imagine my surprise to Oli in the review for Snyder's Justice League that he liked it. Know that he was healthy. The last 3 films were making him so progressively ill with each one. I was getting... Every time I'd be fine. We'll watch a Zack Snyder movie, and I would get ill from watching it. Every month, like clockwork. I had expected the video to open with him in his hospital bed hooked up to an IV. Maybe this cutscene regime has slowly inoculated him to his allergy of #pure cinema. The best test would be if he survives an all-night marathon of Fast and Furious films. That's the one thing I could do an all night for.
Also, you're getting pure cinema each week on SmackDown, so don't worry about it. Cinema here on Monday Night Raw. WWE is pure cinema.
I hate it. P.S. To give her full credit and not slander her on the net, because I took her to Coldplay, my daughter took me to see Gorillaz perform Demon Days, so she's more of a tweener Joker Bayley Sting than my right heel. Gorillaz have an installation set up across the canal.
Do they?
Yeah. All last week. They were.
Well, I've got a flea to get the Lizzie line later on because there are no tubes at the moment, so I'll go and have a look at it on the way.
And PPS, Dan, please bully Luke and Ollie to see Hadestown so they can have you do a video essay on the parallels between Hades' relationship with Persephone to Roman Reigns in the title and Orpheus, how do you say Eurydice. With Cody's own quest for gold, I'll compliment every wrestler as a cat video nicely.
Interesting. I'll have to unpack that one.
I'll
see some parallels.
Double J, I might go see Hadestown because I'm on a Greek myths kick. I was reading Absolute Wonder Woman and they did so much Greek mythology.
Yeah.
I started reading Stephen Fry's Mythos.
Yeah.
And now I've started playing Hades again.
Yeah.
So I'm knee deep in.
So you'll go have a double bill. You'll see the matinee of Hadestown, then you'll go see
Hercules.
Yeah.
I hear it's fine, and the chorus are fantastic.
I haven't seen Hercules. Hadestown, but the cast are absolutely fantastic, and the music is lovely.
But the story?
The story is the Greek myth.
Seen it. And finally, for now, Anonymous writes, Asuka was definitely the favourite with more of the deeper voiced crowd. That's fun. The deeper voice crowd and the high pitched crowd.
Yeah.
The Cena fans, kids and girls.
Kids and girls like Cena. I don't like Cena. I like wrestling. Excuse me while I log onto my forums.
The deeper voice crowd like us who like Zack Sabre Jr. and Kevin Steen. Kevin Steen, not even Owens. But overall fun match. Rusev was actually getting decent reactions, but we had a sizable Latino community, so we were all into Penta. Overall a nice show. Disappointed no contract signing with Stephanie.
Yeah.
But we don't know what the sitch is there.
Keeping fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us all here today. Let's see the poll closing to get a final rating.
Don't end the stream.
66% thumbs up, which is better than recently, and 28% thumbs in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment.
But thank you very much. Remember, yes, don't forget the poll, Ollie. I've done it. William Walter.
Love that, I've been gone for a year and it's still neither of you can remember the poll.
That's the chat telling you.
No, I know.
That's not even Mod Mother.
But the fact that the chat are telling you says a lot.
Well, I will remind the chat to go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk and become a Patreon over there, because Monday Night War with me, Luke, and Dan starts on Monday, and it is exclusive. TV-only PLEs are weirdly on YouTube on Patreon. So go over there. But for now, I've been Ollie Davis. This has been Dan Layton, the Truth
Yes,
Professor.
it has. Oh, yeah. I'll do it. I got it.
You got the button?
I got the outro button.
Jam that jam.
Oh.